Cary Anthony Stayner, born August 13, 1961, is an American serial killer. Stayner's early family life was marked by the abduction of his younger brother, Stephen, a kidnapping victim of convicted child molester, Kenneth Parnell. He was convicted of the murders of 4 women between February and July 1999. Carole Sund, her teenage daughter Juli Sund and their teenage traveling companion Silvina Pelosso, and Yosemite Institute naturalist Joie Ruth Armstrong. The murders occurred in Mariposa County, California, near Yosemite National Park. Cary Stayner was sentenced to death for the 4 murders, and remains, as of March 2017, awaiting execution on death row at San Quentin Penitentiary in California. Early life. Stayner was born and raised in Merced, California. His younger brother, Stephen, was kidnapped by child molester Kenneth Parnell in 1972, when Cary was 11, and held captive for more than 7 years before escaping and being reunited with his family. When Stephen escaped from Parnell and returned home in 1980, he received massive media attention. A true crime book and TV movie, both titled I Know My First Name is Stephen, were made about the ordeal. Stephen died in a motorcycle accident in 1989. The following year, Stayner's uncle Jesse, with whom he was living at the time, was murdered. Stayner would also later claim that his uncle molested him when he was 11. Stayner is reported to have attempted suicide in 1991. Crimes. In 1997, Stayner was hired as a handyman at the Cedar Lodge Motel in El Portal, just outside the Highway 140 Arch Rock entrance to Yosemite National Park. The top of the note read, "We had fun with this one." Investigators went to the location depicted on the map and found the remains of Juli, whose throat had been cut. Detectives began interviewing employees of the Cedar Lodge Motel where the first 3 victims had been staying just before their deaths. One of those employees was Cary Stayner, but he was not considered a suspect at that point because he had no criminal history and remained calm during the police interview. Upon meeting Stayner, FBI agent Jeff Rennick asked if Stayner had ever seen the movie Billy Jack, noting Stayner's resemblance to the film's hero. Initially, Stayner denied seeing the movie. When the decapitated body of the 4th victim, Joie Ruth Armstrong, was found, eyewitnesses said they saw a blue 1979 International Scout parked outside the cabin where Armstrong was staying. Detectives traced this vehicle to Stayner. Stayner claimed after his arrest that he had fantasized about murdering women since he was 7 years old, long before the abduction of his brother. Trial and conviction. Stayner pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. His lawyers claimed that the Stayner family had a history of sexual abuse and mental illness, manifesting itself not only in the murders, but also his obsessive-compulsive disorder, and requests to be provided with child pornography in return for his confession. Sentencing and wait for execution. In 2002, during the penalty phase of his trial, he was sentenced to death and thereafter entered housing in the Adjustment Center on death row at San Quentin Penitentiary in California. Media portrayals. Stayner's case was featured in an episode of American Justice produced in 2002. In 2011, the investigation and arrest of Cary Stayner were featured in an episode of FBI Criminal Pursuit, titled Trail of Terror, airing on the Investigation Discovery Channel. In 2013, the history of Stayner's progress from student to convicted murderer was told in an episode of the UK television series Born to Kill, titled Yosemite Park Slayer. Quote,